but this is quite different. This is looking at the Chengdu Biennale, which you may or may not know about, and looking at Wikipedia information on art in general, but also particularly on this this Biennale. So I'm a computer scientist, a Wikipedia person, etc. And my co-author is lives in China, has been here, been to eat previous Evas. So we're going to present how we managed to collaborate on this. My co-author is also going to talk a bit about some stuff that isn't in the paper yet. It might be in next year's paper, perhaps, but on the Beidou back, which is sort of Wikipedia equivalent in China. And also just some general Chinese experience about cultural communication and so on. So this talk is going to cover some things that aren't in the paper, certainly things my co-author is going to talk about. So as I said, the whole background is in fact there's arts activities going on in China that maybe we don't know about so much. I'd never heard of the Chengdu Biennale before. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's quite a big. It's been going for quite a while. But I do know about putting stuff online. I'm techie at heart, but I've got an interest in the arts. That's why I'm here. I only speak English. I can, speak one or two words in Chinese, but that's it. So it was essential to have somebody in China who's a native speaker, has an interest in arts and culture, lives in Chengdu, so can see what's going on locally. So it's worked very well in terms of collaboration with our dual expertise. So it was sparked off by the Biennale, and this is just, I'm going to show you a few photographs, but some of you might know Jeremy Gardner, who's appeared in previous Evas. He's now trying to be he is a real artist. He's trying to downplay his digital side. So there's some of his real art at the Chengdu Biennale. He's now a full-time artist. So when we started, there was an existing Chinese Wikipedia. There is a Chinese Wikipedia, so there's some stuff on the Biennale, but it was dated from 2011. So somebody, I guess, in 2011 had some interest in it, put it on, and then, as often happens with Wikipedia, it just sat there quietly, not doing anything. So we thought, well, let's get this updated. But when you try and log in from China, obviously there can be various issues trying to access things. So this is what happens in China if you try and log in onto Wikipedia, etc. And editing Wikipedia, well, this maybe it's because somebody's wrecked the IP address, or maybe it's been blocked, who knows? But anyway, it's difficult to do things from China on Wikipedia itself. So that's why this collaboration is good, because my co-author could find out what's going on in China, and I can do the things at this end, and we can talk to each other. So, I mean, one useful thing, obviously, because I don't speak any Chinese, is, and Chinese is included on English Wikipedia. So typically, if it's something about China, you'll see the Chinese name as well, which I can't check, obviously. And so my co-author could check even the English bits to make sure that Chinese was okay. So of course, you want lots of photos, something about Biennale with lots of interesting visual things to see. But again, you can't, on Wikipedia, ideally you upload them to Wikimedia Commons, and then you can put them on Wikipedia. Well, that's not possible, sadly. But one thing you can access in China is Flickr, so that is available if you're in China to upload your photographs. So that was the obvious thing for Huan to upload Flickr. And then one nice thing about Flickr is, provided you have the right Creative Commons license on Flickr, anybody is allowed to move stuff over to Wikimedia Commons. The default is, though, to say it's all copyright and mine. So okay, Huan upload the photos, but then we had to make sure the right Creative Commons license was on there that let me do the transfer onto Wikimedia. Otherwise, trying to put stuff on Wikimedia Commons from someone else is a bit of a nightmare. I think we've tried. It's fine to put your own stuff on. You have to have all sorts of permissions and so on to do it otherwise. But this is an easy way to get stuff from another website onto Wikimedia Commons. So that's what I did. It's now all on Wikimedia Commons. I think there's a category for the Biennale and so on with these photographs in there. And perhaps one thing you may not know about, has anyone heard of Wikidata? Okay, one or two. But you know, that's quite an important sort of that behind the scenes things going on with Wikipedia and Wikimedia Commons and so on. If you actually want to get everything sort of linked together, it's good to go to the matching Wikidata page, which is sort of metadata for all these other things, to make sure that all the right things are connected, saying where it's from, dates, links to pictures, etc. You can add all sorts of things on Wikidata that you don't see immediately on something like Wikipedia, but can then be used by all these other wiki sites. So that's something I've got quite keen on doing to make sure it's all linked together properly. So you can see a nice picture there with the art museum. So they've actually created two brand new museums. I think the whole, well, you can see a lake there, a whole park, culture park. So all that's been created for this latest